What's up, guys? I would say good morning, but it's 11:27. I was up at around, I don't even know, 6. Got some coffee, went to Starbucks, whatever. And now, yeah, I don't know why I've been sleeping like crap, but I went back to bed and I had a really long nap. So I've now wasted most of my morning, if not the entire morning, sleeping. So I think now's a good time to actually get to work and get this day started. So I'm gonna keep it real with you. Here's why you're failing at all your fat loss goals and your fat loss journey. Number one, you gotta get over this whole how much time or how long is it going to take me to reach my goal. It does not work like that, and your body doesn't care if you're trying to reach a certain goal by a certain date. And the fact is that you put so much stress and so much emphasis on a certain date or some arbitrary time that by the time that time comes and you haven't reached your goal, like you just want to backslide, or that if it doesn't happen as quickly as you'd like, you just go into these drastic measures. Just stop. If you're watching this, you are more than likely a grown-up, a grown human being, one who has made it through life made it through the awkward phases of teenage years and maybe even your early 20s. Have gotten your first job at some fast food restaurant, and then maybe you graduated high school, and then you graduated university, and then maybe you graduated med school, law school. Like, maybe you have a family now. You've accomplished quite some things in your life, more than likely, if you actually sat back and thought about it. When you don't want to do anything else other than go ham on ham or pizza, see what I did there? Punny. You gotta get rid of this whole I need to do it now and it needs to happen now, because when you do that, it's like it was, I'm sure, just like anything else in life, when you felt like you needed to do something right then and there, it did not happen when you wanted it to. People will give themselves these lofty goals like I need to lose X amount of pounds in X amount of time, and that doesn't normally work because life happens. And you're not going to always be perfect with your training and nutrition. And as a coach, I never expect my clients to be perfect in any way, shape, or form in training and nutrition. There are things that you cannot control. Obviously, you cannot technically control the rate of fat loss. You don't live in some hyperbaric chamber. You don't live in some sports lab. Like, life doesn't work like that, and we all know that. So the goal here is to control what we can control and let time work in our favor. So that means, are you gonna have to sacrifice a couple days of drinking and partying with your friends, and maybe instead of inviting them for a glass of wine, you invite them for a cup of coffee? Perhaps. Or if they do want to go out to a bar or go to a restaurant, do you need to drink with them? No. You're there to enjoy each other's company. You can do that with anything. You can, if you're meeting up with people, if you're going to hang out and be with colleagues or friends or family or your spouse, whatever, like, that's cool. You don't have to miss out on these things, but you also don't need to drink or eat food that you know is not going to reach your goal. And you have to keep your goal ahead in the front of your head the entire time, because you have to essentially be the Jiminy Cricket of your future goal and like what you're trying to accomplish ahead of time. Meaning, you're about to have that glass of wine, or you're about to have that beer, or you're about to have a pound of wings. You're in the moment. You can think about it right now. What am I gonna feel like 10 minutes from now, tomorrow, a week from now? Like, you have to learn when to pick and choose and learn when to sacrifice. And for most people, you just don't know how to do that just yet. So it's better off to just nip things in the bud that you're gonna trigger on, that you know is gonna keep you back from your goal, and that's it. What you need to be doing is understanding that it's not gonna happen in 2 months, 3 months, even 6 months. Yeah, if you're consistent over that period of time, you're going to be a little bit better than you were in the start, for sure. But it's not gonna work or happen the way you think it's gonna happen. And I think if you can really just hammer that into your brain, into your skull, and just realize, like, look, I want to make a change for my life. I want to make sure that I live long enough to play with my kids and hey, go out with them when they're in their 20s. And I want to make sure that I fit in my clothes, and I can try to eliminate as many health potential issues that I can control. Then you have to realize that you gotta take it one step at a time, one day at a time, controlling one thing at a time that you can control. Because if you don't, and you continue to be short-sighted and continue to be naive in the pursuit of said goal, you're going to fail. You will absolutely fail at fat loss if you are always short-sighted and you're being naive to how it's really done. That means there are no quick fixes, that there are no special supplements, that you don't need to be cutting out an entire food group. You just need to take the time to learn a little skill, such as tracking your macros and just tracking the food. You can do it with MyFitnessPal. It's on your cell phone. Simple as that. You don't need to make this more complicated than need be. And the more that you do, the more excuses you're going to make, the more blame you're going to shift to everybody else except for yourself. And you need to take responsibility. You need to have that, hold yourself accountable. And yes, share your goal with people that but that do care and that want to see you do well, because that's the only way, or that's going to be the easiest way to succeed. Now, if you don't have somebody to hold yourself accountable to, then you're going to have to work extra hard to hold yourself accountable to yourself. But again, you can still do it. Nothing is impossible. Like, as cliche as that sounds, nothing is impossible. So what I'm telling you is, what you should be doing is, again, giving yourself time, learning the skills of just basic tracking and knowing what food you're eating, because you'd be very surprised. Healthy does not equal fat loss. Healthy is a completely subjective term. Completely. What's healthy for one person could be detrimental to one person. What's healthy to me might be adding to a more unhealthy lifestyle to somebody else. Healthy is not fat loss. Losing fat will make you healthier, but eating healthy does not equate to fat loss. These are things that you have to start understanding. If you're tired of failing in your efforts of fat loss, then let's just keep it very simple right now. Strength train. Eat more protein. Get in diet calorie drink or 0 calorie drinks, diet drinks, water, coffee, tea. get more vegetables into your diet, more fiber. Get more fruit, full of vitamins, and fruit is great with fiber as well. Still enjoy your freaking candy if you want to have it, or your Snickers bars, or unless of course that's something where if you have one of it triggers you to eat more of, then that's when you don't. But learn these steps and get yourself a little bit more regimented, because if you don't prioritize yourself and your goals right now, it will get harder later in life, period. Period. So that's it. I'm gonna go train. Today's back and buys. It's one of my favorite days to train. And so I'll talk to you later.